Hey everybody, I'm Paul, and my wife had a baby. Well, I also, as the father, I guess. My wife and I, we had a baby about 10 days ago, and his name is Theo, um, which is short for Theodore. He's awesome. Um, yeah, couldn't be more excited, more happy to have this little guy, and it's about midnight, maybe 12:30, and he woke up and needed some food, and so, oh, there you go. You want some of this? You got a hair on there a little bit. He woke up and needed some food, and so I was trying to feed him, but he has since fallen asleep, and so I just wanted to talk a little bit about being a dad. I've never been a dad before. This is our first child. My wife and I got married like a year and a half ago, and so this is our first little baby. Um, it's it's pretty incredible. I don't know how many of you are parents, but it's a bit of an indescribable feeling. Um, Definitely a sense of responsibility. He's a human, and if he grows up to be rotten, then it's my fault. But if he grows up to be awesome, which I hope he does, then I suppose I have a part to play in that as well. But we had him at a hospital. Some people have their children at hospitals, others will have them at home, others may accidentally have them on a way to the hospital. But we had ours at a hospital. He was about 5 days late. So when my wife was pregnant, we would go to the doctor, and they would give a projected or an anticipated or expected due date. And our expected due date was May 12th. But he was not ready to leave mommy, which is understandable. It's very comfortable in there, I would imagine. And so we didn't have him until May 18th. And they did something called an induction. So we had to be induced. Induced in this context means to begin labor intentionally through medication. And it's pretty amazing how it happens. So they gave my wife some medicine that made her body think that it was time to go into labor, which is crazy. And so that happened starting at like 7 a.m. on May 11th. And so they began the whole process, and it made her body have contractions. And contractions are basically when the abdomen and the uterus squeeze really, really tightly to push the baby out of the birth canal, right? And so we started that at like 7 a.m. on the 11th, and at the hospital, and it took that entire day. So 12 hours would have been 7 p.m. Still no baby, and we didn't have the baby until 3 a.m. The next morning, Friday, May 18th. So it was like 17, 18 hours of labor, which is crazy. My wife is super tough. I cannot imagine having a baby. So for those of you women who have had babies, you're awesome. It's amazing. And since then, we spent a couple days at the hospital. So in America, typically, if you have a baby at the hospital will make you stay for 48 hours or 2 days after the birth. And in that time, they just check in on the baby. They check in on the mother to make sure the mother is recovering and healing okay. And it's really nice, honestly. It was like staying in a 5-star hotel. Nurses come and check on you every few hours. We had catering, or not catering, I guess a better word would be room service at the hospital as well. So there was a special menu, and really good food options. And so you would order whatever food you wanted, and they would bring it up to you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so we ate like kings and queens for about 48 hours and got to know our new little baby. And so after 48 hours, if everybody's healthy and doing well, they let you bring the baby home, which is really weird as well. It's like, do they know we're taking this baby? Because we have no idea how to be parents, right? And so we got him home. I guess it would have been the 21st. I don't know, something like that. A couple Sundays, or Sunday before this past Sunday. And he's been doing great. He sleeps and eats and poops. And sometimes he wakes up and he looks at you for a little bit, but he's blind basically. Well, he's not blind, but babies, when they're new, when babies are new, they can't see very well. And everything's really blurry, right? So he doesn't really track, but I can tell he sort of notices me. He's aware that I exist, which is cool, I guess, right? But yeah, this is a lot of just this. You notice I have a bottle here, so this would be breast milk. Some people use something called formula, which is synthetic or manufactured breast milk. But my wife has this pump thing and gets this out of there, which is also amazing. I'm just amazed by the whole process of everything, really. That's what I'm saying. But I'm going to try and share some of this journey with you as I figure out how to be a dad and figure out how to be a husband while being a dad. It was one thing to be a husband. It's hard enough, right? But then to be a husband and a dad is a whole nother thing. And so it's going to be an adventure. I'm excited to share it with you, and hopefully you find my ramblings somewhat interesting. And hopefully little Theo here has had his fill, and we can get some sleep. Alright, so I will check in soon with a Theo update. Maybe next time he'll be more alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Alright, talk to you soon. See ya.